So today's video is about food shortages that you should see in the store in the future, or the costs are going to be kind of rising because there'll be less of these things. So the first one is orange juice. Now remember, orange, you're squeezing it like you're squeezing an orange. Like this is milk because you're milking the cow. That was the original one, and then it just got, shortened. Orange is here, it's the color and the fruit. And then juice, we have our I hand shape. We're going to draw in a, remember this is the sign for sweet. So we're going to draw it in a J hand shape right here where it'd be sweet, juice. Just a J, juice, orange juice. So there's going to be less orange juice or affordable, less affordable orange juice because they said there's the greening disease. It says it's a bacterial infection. This is a sign for infection, bacterial, virus, any of that. Bacterial infection that's spreading on the trees. So remember, this is tree, and trees we do it more than one time. And if you do a whole bunch, it's a forest, right? Or a grove, right? Because it's a lot of trees. So that's the first one, and I love orange juice. And the second one is canned tuna. Now it's a short word, we can spell it. And I use that a lot to make tuna salad, but they said that it's because there's been too much fishing. You could say fishing, or you could, like in a net, a big net, they catch them, overfishing. And they said that, and so not enough, and so it impacts anything that's impacting. It's kind of whatever this is, either whether it's a person or it's whatever it is it's talking about. This is our tuna supply, and then we hit it, it impacts it like you're beating up, right? That's what it is. That's impact. Okay, so but they said it was been exploited. Remember the other day we said take advantage of, exploited. It's the same. It's a concept. Remember the concept, exploited. Okay, so now they have like limited fishing or stricter rules about that. Strict. It's a bent V hand shape, and then it's on the nose. Strict. And that could be your parents strict too. And then the third one is peanut butter. Who thought? Really? There's so much on the shelves, and they said there's going to be a problem with peanut butter. And they said that it's because of multiple things. So they said that was because of climate change. Now, I'm going to use that for weather change. Because climate is such a various, it's too hot, it gets too cold, or it comes in odd times that we're not used to, or it's in an area like in the south that maybe not used to be the cold, and now it's getting cold. So I'm going to do weather change. You can do it change or change. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't change. If I'm going to have a big change, I'm going to go out here, right? Change. But climate change. Okay. And so the peanut crops, they said that it's erratic. So some die and some live, but it's not consistent. Even, right? This is even, but if it's going to be like, oh, it's leveling out, that kind of thing, or it's erratic. Remember the concept. Think about, what does that mean? So instead of just level, or see, this is fair or level, but it's leveling out, or it's consistent. It's always the same. Consistent. Standard is also the sign. Okay, so the next one is it says that the salad greens that they put in the bags and seal it up. They said that it's going to be less than, because most of that is in California, and they have water shortages. It's less than. It's not. You could say decrease, but I don't know about if I would use decrease. I would say the shortages. It's less than. Water shortage. This is short. if I saw that, that, or that, I would know that it's shortage, right? So those concepts are correct. You could use those signs. Like I said, it's not a hard and fast rule per se, but just remember the concept that you're saying. And they said, oh yeah, there's the water. I thought there was something else, but maybe not. Okay. Oh, and then here's the fifth one that everyone loves, and that's potato chips. I know. So they said it's because of the potato crops, that there is this fungus. I just spelled it, fungus. I don't even know if I know the sign for fungus. I've always spelled it. Fungus. They said that it lives in the water that's warm and whatever's like wet. So it doesn't have to be in water, but if it's like a warm, moist, like a humid area, that this fungus lives there and it destroys. Remember, we did destroys the crops for the potatoes. So that's not good. Okay, so there's various things, right, that's causing these shortages. Six is coffee. Remember, we're grinding our coffee beans, and they coffee beans. And they said it's because of climate change. Pest, it's a bug pest, and diseases. And they said there's a coffee leaf rust. I've never even heard of that, rust on the leaf. Interesting. I thought it was because of like metal that you have rust. But that's what it's called. So anyway, and then they said that the rain is erratic. And then number 7 is beef products. And so they said because there's pressure from people about beef, about the environment, environment. They said that the feed cost for the cows, water shortages, and then I already said that the environmental. So those 3 things that people are concerned about, and then has that pressure on there, so they have less beef. Okay. I want you to notice that I can change my signs, but mean the same thing. So that's why I do that. I'm trying to do that so you can see that it doesn't have to be that sign for that word. Because it's not word sign, remember, it's concept sign. Okay, and number 8 is canned soup. Who knew? And they said because during COVID-19 pandemic, that people were kind of stocking up and saving their soup because they could, make recipes, or at least they could have that to eat. And so people put it on their shelves, and so they have a shortage. Less than shortage. And it said because of the supply. Now here's chain. Here's the sign that you would normally use for chain. But I could say that. I could say supply chain, and I might even do that interpreting. But you could also, well, if you think about it, supply chain. So a chain is something that comes down, like the food chain. We talk about that, that the humans eat the big animals, and the big animals eat the smaller animals, and so on and so forth, until they get down to plants. So you could say it's a food chain. It's because look at it. It's this whole different items, and then it goes down. So if you were to draw like that, even like an organizational, you would have the president, and then you would have all the vice presidents, and then you would have supervisors, and then you would have managers. You see what I'm saying? So you would have that org chart. So you could do food chain. It really wouldn't matter. I think that everybody would catch it. Okay, so it says that that the companies, CEOs, the companies that make the soup, they are struggling to make enough so they can put, on the shelves again the same amount as they used to. Number 9, who would have thought this? Maple syrup. Remember, I've got it in my container and I'm pouring it on my pancakes or whatever. And they said that it's because of warming temperatures in some areas where they have the trees, that they said that it disrupts. You can say it, this is like to suspend, to disrupt, right? Or I would almost do suspend, but to disrupt this sap flow. Who would have thought? But anyway, I thought once you put a hole in there and it would just come out. I wouldn't have thought about that. Anyway, and they said it's for shorter, so I'm going to do short for a time. This is the time period, so I will use the sign for short because a short amount of time. If it's a short person, I wouldn't do a short person. I've seen it, but I would do a short person, right? And I'm a short person. So anyway, so it said that it's shorter time periods for the sap to flow. So anyway, so it's not the same amount as it was before. Who would have thought? Oh, and then number 10 is avocados. I'm going to spell that. And they said that it's because of the water shortage. Not enough, scarcity. Not enough. I would, if someone said scarcity, I would probably say water, not enough. That's what I would do. Just because it's more clear and it shows the scary word, scarcity. It's like, oh no. It's not like, oh, it's because it hasn't rained or anything. But when it says scarcity, that's a little bit harder word. And then they said it's that this fruit uses a lot of water, and so it's environmental concerns about where they grow, and so it's not enough for the people and for the fruit. So avocado is a fruit. Okay, they said that it's 70 gallons per avocado to grow. Wow, that's a lot of water for one. Number 11, specialty cheeses. They said that because of the rising, remember we said, there's like loss and rising. This is what I would do, rising, increasing, the increasing production cost. And they said that the milk prices are higher. And they said that the energy cost, because many of these, they say facilities, I would say, a company or manufacturing company, and I know it's these big storage areas and they stir it, and so I would probably do this one. So the facilities are older, and so it costs a lot more to kind of keep it, cold or whatever. The energy. Remember, this is power. The energy cost. Okay, or energy cost. And then they said to get the high quality milk, it's costing more. Okay. And then last one, I think this is this is the last one. This is really tough on me, on Eileen, because number 12 is what? Chocolate. Yeah. They said that because the farm for cacao, chocolate, that becomes chocolate, they are struggling because people on the deforestation, so you do your forest first and then you're going to cut it down. So deforestation. That's what you would do for that. Forest, cut down. And so the deforestation, the pest, and the labor shortages. Labor shortages. I think all of that works. Okay. Sometimes you have to sign it to see, does it feel right or not? Because sometimes you're going, no, I'm going to change that. Okay. So they said that the people who make the chocolate, like here in America, they are trying to invest their money. So when you sign invest, money and then invest. So you have money and then you're going to take this pile of money and then you're going to put it somewhere. So they're investing in the farming that can sustain Remember, keep it even, keep it moving. And also to address, to face head on the challenges. You could even say, if you had an opportunity to really think about the ASL, you would say to address these challenges, I would do challenge, address. This is what, when you know, face to face. And then, of course, we've done our open hand, A hand shape, and then that's our challenge. So challenge to face them. That's how I would do that, because that's more correct in ASL. Okay, and so they said that the chocolate prices are rising, which is what I would use. I would not use this. You would say if the prices are high, but if the prices are rising, they're increasing. And the chocolate portions, so what is the concept for portions? Size. Remember, we're measuring. So the chocolate sizes are less. They're shrinking. Now that's what this article says, is shrinking. So that's what I would do. Chocolate portions decrease. Okay, so there you have it. I hope you practice and use the different signs and see how you can incorporate it into different conversations or different sentence, so you can use the different concepts of these signs. So have fun and practice with your deaf and your hearing friends. Bye.